Have you ever wondered if Zen practice could help us avoid the hidden risks of Stoicism? Let's explore that. Now let's take a moment to offer just a few key points, not to judge, but to invite comparison. We understand that Stoicism has offered strength and clarity to many in the Western world. Its teachings on self-control, resilience, and reason are deeply valuable. But sometimes, growth comes from seeing through a new lens, so we invite you to stay open-minded as we explore how Zen might offer a different, perhaps more spacious perspective. Let's begin. First, emotional suppression. Stoicism teaches us to control our emotions, but taken too far, it can lead to denying them altogether. Zen takes a softer approach. It doesn't suppress emotion, it watches it, like clouds passing through an open sky. Zen teaches us to observe emotion without clinging or pushing it away. In Zen, emotions are not enemies to fight. They are passing waves, not who we truly are. Second, isolation. Stoicism values self-sufficiency, but sometimes that independence can turn into loneliness. Zen recognizes our natural interconnectedness. It teaches compassion. It sees all beings as part of one living whole. We're not isolated islands. We're waves in the same ocean. Third, internal conflict. Stoicism can create a war between logic and feeling, a tug of war inside the self. But Zen doesn't try to win against emotion. It invites us to see through it. Instead of controlling our inner world with force, Zen helps us let go. It reminds us we are not our thoughts. We are not our fears. We are the awareness behind them. In the end, Zen doesn't force strength. It invites presence. It offers a clear, calm mind, a warm heart, and the courage to simply be. That's the Zen way. Have you ever sat alone, quietly gazing at a beautiful landscape? Or maybe just looking at the small garden near your home? You take a look, then close your eyes trying to clear your mind. And perhaps you feel, honestly, a little silly. At best, you might think, well, that was a nice view. But for the ancient Zen practitioners, this moment is something entirely different. For them, after years of meditation, they begin to feel something deeper. The act of seeing, that rising thought, is just like a wave forming on the ocean. And as they close their eyes, the thought naturally falls, like the wave returning to the sea. There's no struggle, no effort, just the simple rise and fall, like the natural fluctuations of particles in a quantum field. Even the self, the one watching, begins to fade into this rhythm. And in that instant, a flash of insight strikes through their mind. They realize this deeper, mirror-like awareness behind all thoughts. That's what Zen masters for over 1,000 years have called seeing one's true nature and breaking free from ego illusion. That very flash of insight is what's known as Satori, the sudden awakening to deep wisdom, the heart of Zen enlightenment. You might still think, well, isn't that just another empty trick? What's the big deal? But what many people don't realize is, for over 1,000 years, countless ordinary people, from scholars and warriors to even some modern entrepreneurs, have experienced this awakening. And when they do, it changes everything. They find more ease in daily life. Relationships become smoother, their creativity sharpens, and their path feels clearer. Because many of our daily troubles, our emotions, worries, and frustrations, are nothing more than these rising and falling thoughts. And once you see them for what they are, you start living with a new kind of freedom. We all know the value of exercise, physical fitness, beauty routines, academic drills, whether it's gym workouts, makeup practice, or mastering a subject for school. We invest in improving the body and sharpening the intellect. Some even joke about training their drinking tolerance. Though let's be clear, we're not encouraging that. But here's something we don't talk about enough. Even people with perfect bodies and impressive degrees can suffer from emotional breakdowns or mysterious psychological issues. Throughout history, some of the brightest minds have ended in tragedy, not because they lacked intelligence, but because they neglected something far more essential: the exercise of the mind. In Zen, there's a saying, to awaken the mind and see your true nature, that is the most fundamental task. Not just knowledge, not just intellect, but inner clarity and emotional balance. Yet surprisingly, many people today still don't know that there's a form of practice more important than any diploma or gym routine. The practice of inner awareness, the exercise of the heart and mind, call it mindfulness, meditation, spiritual fasting, or simply mental hygiene. These practices may have originated in ancient Eastern Zen, but today they're mostly secular, free from religious framing, and accessible to everyone. The results? Better focus, stronger emotional resilience, and over time, calm creativity, deeper self-understanding, and a rebalanced nervous system. But if we want to go beyond the basics, beyond simply feeling a bit better, and truly experience freedom in daily life, mental spaciousness, and deep cognitive rewiring, then understanding the ancient wisdom behind these practices becomes valuable. Just like learning to use more features on your phone, or discovering your horse can actually gallop, you begin to unlock a whole new world of possibilities. Even Bill Gates admitted that in his younger days, he thought meditation was some mystical thing tied to reincarnation. But now he meditates regularly, just 10 minutes a few times a week. He calls it exercise for the mind. And even with just the surface-level practice, through simple apps and guided sessions, he finds noticeable benefits in focus and clarity. So if a basic version already helps, imagine what's possible when you go a little deeper. In the next part, we'll show you how modern insight and ancient Zen wisdom can work together to create real, meaningful change in your mind and your life. So, what exactly is mindfulness insight, or what Zen calls Satori? In today's world, achieving this kind of awakening is actually easier than it was for the ancients. Why? Because we now understand the science behind it. Modern neuroscience shows us how mindfulness and meditation gradually weaken the brain's narrative self-mode, that default voice in our head constantly labeling, comparing, and judging. In science, it's called the DMN, the default mode network. As this chatter softens, something beautiful begins to awaken. The brain's awareness system lights up. Areas like the anterior cingulate cortex, the insula, and networks responsible for deep presence and clarity. This is what ancient Zen masters meant when they said, see your original mind, see your true nature. And as that awareness grows, we develop powerful tools. Sharper focus, emotional resilience, creative thinking that isn't blocked by fear or overthinking. But Zen's first and most essential advice? Let go of the ego. This doesn't mean abandoning yourself. It means no longer letting the false, ego-driven version of you control your thoughts and emotions. You're still achieving. You're still moving forward. But now you're winning with peace, not with suffering. No mental noise, no tension, just calm joy. Because in the end, you get to choose. Do you want to win with a peaceful heart, or win while fighting your own mind the entire way? Here on True Koan, we'll share practical tools to help you on this path, combining modern mindfulness with the wisdom of Zen. The great Zen master Huineng once said, you could listen to scriptures for lifetimes and still remain lost. But true awakening can happen in a single moment. And that moment might be closer than you think. It could come during a quiet morning while sitting for 10 minutes in simple meditation. It could arise while reading a Zen story or watching one of our videos. You'll feel it, not as a dramatic breakthrough, but as a gentle flash of clarity. A moment where something shifts. Your awareness sharpens, the mental noise fades, and for a brief instant, you feel the flow of wisdom move through your mind. That's the taste of awakening. From that point on, it becomes your unfair advantage, a calm power you carry through life. Back in ancient times, this kind of awakening was rare and hard to reach. They didn't have neuroscience. They didn't have structured methods or guided tools. Zen masters could only pass it on heart-to-heart, wordless, intuitive, often after years of silence. There's a famous story of a young monk in Japan who meditated on a single Zen riddle. What is the sound of one hand clapping? He pondered it for 4 years. before the insight finally hit. And there's something important for us to remember. Understanding isn't enough. Reading about Satori won't bring it. Knowing the brain regions involved won't trigger it. Just like reading a book on swimming won't teach you how to swim. You have to get in the water, practice, observe, let go, fall quiet inside. And one day, like learning to float in water, your mind will rest in awareness, light, clear, and free. Because at its core, this is the magic of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself through real experience. So no shortcuts, but also no need to wait years in silence. Just practice a little with the right guidance and watch what happens. About Satori, there's a classic moment from the Tang Dynasty in Guangzhou, China, a story that captures the essence of sudden awakening. Two monks stood watching a flag fluttering in the wind. One said, "The wind is moving." The other argued, "No, it's the flag that moves." They debated back and forth. The Sixth Patriarch Huineng overheard them and said, "It is not the wind that moves, it is not the flag that moves, it is the mind that moves." In that instant, the monks experienced Satori, a flash of insight. Yet the mind Huineng spoke of was not the ordinary worldly mind, not the mind of ego or emotion. It was the true mind, clear like a mirror, simply reflecting what is. Free from the illusion of a separate self beyond mental constructs, beyond identity. No I is moving in this seeing, only awareness, pure and silent. Awakening is not the end, it's the beginning. In Zen, we call the first moment of awakening seeing your true nature, but it doesn't mean you're fully free. It's like suddenly seeing the map of a maze. That moment, Satori, is powerful, but even after seeing the full layout, you still have to walk out of the maze step by step. That step-by-step journey is called practice. As the ancient sutra says, awakening comes in a flash, but transformation takes time. This is why Zen teaches, before awakening, you sit to seek stillness. After awakening, you practice until stillness becomes your way of life, in walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. So awakening isn't the final prize. It's the starting line of real practice. If your mind is calm and your habits are light, you may find that studying Zen teachings, practicing mindfulness, and contemplating Zen koans can trigger insight quickly. But for most of us in the modern world, our old emotional habits and constant distractions get in the way. So we follow a blended path, insight and practice together. Wu Shu Bing Xing, awakening and training hand in hand. Start small, just 10 or 20 minutes of quiet sitting, 2 or 3 mornings a week. Spend an hour each week exploring Zen koans, mindfulness teachings, or watching videos like this. And then something shifts. You'll start to notice. You're not reacting to things so quickly. Your emotions settle faster. Your presence becomes calmer. And people can feel that. It's the kind of quiet power that makes you magnetic. If you've already glimpsed your inner nature, this true self beyond ego, then your practice becomes even more grounded, more purposeful. Awakening gives direction to your path. But even if you haven't experienced that flash of insight yet, don't worry, don't chase it, just start walking. Practice doesn't need force. As Zen says, just let go. No struggle, no pressure. You're not retreating from life. You're stepping into it more clearly, more freely. You'll still win. You'll still succeed. But you'll do it without the noise, without the tension, without the constant self-sabotage of ego. You'll win with calm joy, and that choice is yours to make. To win with peace or win with pain. In both ancient Eastern wisdom and modern Western thought, a shared challenge arises, the illusion of a fixed self. We live bound to a story, our past, our ambitions, our wounds. But what if the self is only a passing reflection on water? What if we could meet life not from behind a story, but with full, quiet presence? This is not religion. It is not ritual. It is secular practice, a way to soften the grip of ego through simple awareness, neuroscience, and lived experience. The ego in psychology often appears as the narrative self, that inner voice always talking about me, my past, my future. It's fueled by the brain's default mode network, active when we drift into self-centered thought. Letting go of ego doesn't mean erasing your personality. It means seeing clearly. The storyteller is not the one who sees. It's like shifting from a filtered profile to a raw living stream. Life is happening, with or without the commentary. You are not the story. You are the space it echoes through. 1. The 5-minute witness. Sit quietly. Breathe. Gently ask, who is aware right now? Don't rush to answer. Just notice. Thoughts arise. It's me. It's my brain. Watch them pass like clouds in a vast sky. Even I am aware is just another thought. You are not the thought. You are the witness. 2. Revisit an emotion. Recall a moment from your day. Maybe something sparked anger or fear. Now ask, who was angry? Not to judge, but to see. Wasn't it just a wave of sensations? Tight chest, racing thoughts, heat in the face? Now try third-person reflection. There was a body in traffic, a jaw clenched. Detached from identity, the ego begins to soften. 3. Write without I. At night, journal 3 experiences, but don't use the word I. Instead of, I felt anxious, write, anxiety arose during the meeting. This small shift trains the mind to observe, without clinging. Think of life like a movie. Most believe they are the actor, but ego release is like realizing you're also the one sitting in the seat, watching quietly. Or imagine a VR game. Forget it's a game, and the ego takes over. But glimpse your real hands holding the controller, and you remember you are not just the character, you are also the player. At first, it's just a pause, a breath between reaction and response. Then praise or blame don't shake you as deeply. Your body stays grounded. You move with clarity. Even your language shifts. I am anxious becomes anxiety is present. This isn't detachment, it's freedom from identification. Will I lose my ambition? Not at all. When you stop needing to prove yourself, you act with more focus, less friction, like a dancer no longer watching the mirror. They just move. Do I have to be spiritual? No, these are mental practices like brushing your teeth, but for the mind. How long does it take? Science says even 10 minutes a day for 8 weeks can change brain activity. Less tangled in the past or future, more present with what is. Each day, gently loosen the story of me. Observe thoughts. Speak with less attachment. Feel when without clinging. Eventually you'll see the one telling the story was just another part of the story. What remains is simple, clear, still. This is secular practice, not escape, not effort, just freedom within calm joy. Let's explore a powerful and poetic guide from Zen teacher Ihiro. A chant of practice, a mantra of presence. Thoughts rise, thoughts fall. Cling to nothing at all. Flow with the moment, release it all. Let wisdom be sharp as a blade, and the heart still as a mountain. All phenomena arise from mind. Within, all is already complete. These words may be few, but they hold deep wisdom for those on the path. Let's walk through it, line by line. Thoughts rise, thoughts fall. Thoughts come and go like waves. This is the natural rhythm of the mind. No need to fight, suppress, or chase them. Just notice. Just be aware. Cling to nothing at all. Don't get caught up in the form of a thought, a mood, or an emotion. Let everything pass through, without grasping, without resistance. This echoes a core Zen teaching. Let the mind arise without attachment. Flow with the moment. Respond to what is as it is, with openness, not control. This is strength through softness, meeting the now, not pushing it away. Release it all. Let go of gain and loss, praise and blame, right and wrong, not by rejecting life, but by releasing the clinging. True freedom begins the moment you stop holding on. Let wisdom be sharp as a blade. Your insight must be precise, able to cut through illusion and see the root of things. This sharpness isn't aggression, it's clarity directed inward. And the heart still as a mountain. Let your mind be steady, unshaken by chaos, grounded like a mountain in the storm. This is balance, wisdom in motion, anchored in stillness. All phenomena arise from mind. The outer world is a mirror of the inner world. Everything you experience reflects your own consciousness. Change your mind, and your world changes too. Within, all is already complete, yet not merely whole, but boundless. Your true nature is vast beyond measure, not confined by space, not limited by time, not narrowed by judgment or fear. There is nothing lacking. You don't need to reach outward, only to return inward and remember the infinite depth already present. So here's the path, distilled into 8 lines, a journey through awareness, release, clarity, stillness, and finally return to your original vastness. Repeat it, reflect on it. Let it echo quietly within you as a guide, a mirror, and an open gate. Now let me recite this poetic guide in its original Chinese, because the sound and rhythm in Chinese carry a unique power. 年期年落，无所住想，顺其当下，一切解放，直入道风，心如山冈，魔法微信，具足无量。